I believe we have the former councilor with us on the line right now. Councilor Winterson, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
But I also wanted to chime in, if I could, in relations to the fishing industry and what's going on here with our lack of representation, I should say.
Yeah.
When I was a councilor from 2013 to 2017, I couldn't tell you how many motions we filed beginning in relations to the sea monitoring, where they had monitors on the vessels which the fishermen had to pay for. And I always my argument was that, well, we have the agriculture, we have all these farming, food and drug administrations. We have inspectors who are paid for through the government, but we're putting this on the back of the fishermen, which you're already struggling as it is. So we have that. They have that burden to deal with. Of course, we know with Carlos Raphael what happened with the the fleet and with catching illegally and things of that nature in the fishing industry. Yeah, definitely, we know that happened, and that's a problem.
But why punish the entire industry?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're looking at the ice houses here. I work here. I've been on the bridge here for 33 years. And, what's happening, they're decimating this entire industry. And from the, fuel isn't being sold. I mean, 5 million gallons less. I could go on and on. The electronics, marine electronic areas around here, the netting, in Fairhaven, New Bedford, being tremendously handcuffed here. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't know why NOAA in the fishing industry, why they haven't come up with a solution. We know they're waiting for, figures on sustainability, how much was really, how much was taken and all that. But in the meantime, people are being killed by this. There's people who aren't able to pay their mortgages, and there's no reason why this hasn't come to a conclusion. Think how we have Jim Kendall and the Rothschild, and Stokesbury down here for someone to advocate for the fishermen. At least we have that, But we need more. And the main reason why I called is I was the councilor for 4 years. Myself as a councilor, I mean, I could Councilor Lopes, Morat, Martins, on and on. We filed motions tremendously. We filed motions tremendously in relations to, like I mentioned earlier, the monitors to have the fishermen have to pay that. About them coming down here with Sector 9, what they were doing, decimating the industry here. They're trying to consolidate everything, basically, in my eyes, is what they're doing. The EDC, the Environmental Defense Fund, they want to eliminate this and monopolize it, in my eyes.
Right.
And we filed so many motions, I, as well as Councilor Carney, I could go Morat or Steve Martins, I'd go on and on. We're the only ones who are fighting for this industry at a local level. State-wise, we're not getting anything. But mainly, to be quite honest with you, and I bring it up because I filed so many motions on what they're doing to this industry, the fishing industry. And again, as you know, the number one fishing industry in the nation here, which contributes to the budget of the state budget tremendously with thousands of jobs, thousands and thousands. And we have nothing. Elizabeth Warren, a state senator, I filed over a dozen motions in regards to having some representation or someone to look into this to come down. Never, ever have I had a response back from Senator Warren nor Senator Markey. Not one time. Nothing. And we bombarded them. Thank God, Councilor Gomes has been an advocate, obviously, as well. Trying to do what we can do at a local level, but we need the state level to kick in, and our state senators who represent us federally.
Yeah.
They've never been down here. They don't come down here at all and have any understanding of the decimation that is happening to this industry. It's almost like they want to just get rid of it and just say, okay, that's it, let's move on. What are we going to do here? We're New England here. This is where you get your fresh seafood at the restaurants, which employ people. What are we going to have? Frozen fish from China coming down here now? It's beyond my comprehension on how we don't have people from the federal state senators now down here, with a bullhorn on a soapbox of some sort, saying, "Hey guys, Noah, let's get this together here, guys. Let's start to move these people in the right direction so we can get the economic impact that should be already in place." to get things moving for the industry.
So let me just make sure I understand you, Councilor Winterson. So as a member of the council, you and several other councilors, you said multiple times, communicated with Senator Warren and with Senator Markey's office and pleaded with them essentially to come to New Bedford and help deal with this issue, and they just totally blew you off. They ignored you.
Absolutely. Not one response back. We get no letters, nothing in return. Nothing at all. It's like New Bedford here is forgotten. And again, this is the #1 fishing industry in the nation. And to put a blind eye to it is beyond my comprehension.
But what's disgusting?
But again, it's amazing to me, and you brought a point up earlier. Hey, I'm an independent. I just try to find a solution to something. I don't, get too into the. But I'll tell you one thing. They're focused on different issues than they should be. They're focused on belittling the president at this time and things of that nature. Whether someone's a fan or not is irrelevant to me. What's relevant to me is the industry that is going down because of the lack of representation that we're not having here, in which we should. That's what's going on right here. And I've been waiting 4 years. And I haven't heard boo from any one of them, particularly Warren, Senator Warren, nor Markey. Nothing at all. They'll come by once in a great while and do a wave or something, I guess. But there's nothing that's, comprehensive for them to look at something and maybe settle or help rectify the problem that we're having here. And it's beyond my comprehension. It's one of the most frustrational components that I've been involved in as a councilor at a local level, in the lack of representation we've had or advocacy that we've had for this industry.
But you know what it is, Councilor? I mean, you've been in the business. You understand that. I mean, they know they can take for granted the votes down here because you know that come November, New Bedford will carry the day for Liz Warren. Markey's not on the ballot this year, but when his turn's up, New Bedford will vote for him anyway. And I don't think people understand exactly the significance of their snub on our city. I mean, this is costing us potentially our greatest industry that we have, our greatest thrust to our economy that we have. These people are ignoring the destruction of that, and the public just doesn't seem to get that. They don't seem to understand that.
No, you nailed it. You're right on target. And I'll tell you again, there's only about 3 to 4 ground fish vessels right now that are really out here bringing in. I mean, the base, for exchanges, selling and buyers, exchange for sellers. What's going on in auctions? Once every 2 weeks now, we're doing it. There was always some movement going on here of selling some products. Okay, we can say with quotas and sustainability. Yeah, I'm not ignorant to that fact, but if you don't understand what is going on, how they're trying to decimate in the EDC, I mean, I'm not I might have a little problem with that department. I'll leave it at that. But how they don't understand what is really happening down here, and they're totally destroying this industry who contributes incredibly millions of dollars, and they're forgetting about the ripple effect in relations to, the ice houses, they used to, they were 20 hours a week, some guys, what are they doing? Look at sweeping a parking lot or trying to keep them busy because there's a talent that is needed, and you can't rehire people. It takes time to rehire, whether it be marine electronics, ice houses, fuel barging, net mending. I could go on, a splicing of wire. I could go on and on all day on how much intrinsical work is done that people don't realize that are being affected because of the lack of representation. And like you said, there'll be people who will just vote for certain, Senator, for Warren or anyone else just because, they think that she's doing stuff. But I'll tell you one thing, it's not happening in this industry, and this is the main industry from New Bedford that is vital. And if this goes down, we're going to have bigger problems than we already have. And if we don't have people who are going to fight for us, then I'll tell you one thing: it's going to be very problematic in the future. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Councilor, I appreciate you checking in with us today. Don't be a stranger. Stay